Okay, so I got the mirror done. I did it again, but what I wanted to show this was I sanding the fenders, 800. See, shininess all gone, so 800. And I painted these months ago and just looked over them real quick, and I was like, oh man, it laid out like glass. Well, here is not like glass. So what I'm doing is sanding this big hanger runs out, kind of getting these down here. Just didn't look low enough. It looked good. Left them sitting. Because I always figure if there's a run in it anyway, I can just do this stuff. But I'm just going to show you real quick. Let's take a razor blade. See if you, excuse me, if you scrape it across there, it really doesn't do anything. You get it on a spot where it's raised up and use your fingers as a cushion, and you can just scrape that stuff right off of there. It takes a while, it takes a long while, and it takes patience. I can get down here on the very end of these runs. If they're soft enough, you can just take a razor blade and slice them off. Just leave them a little bit high. And then you just find a spot, see like right there, I can rub back and forth, and you just slowly bring it down with your fingers. And that's it. So yeah, it'll probably take me at least an hour to get this off of here. I'll just take some quick shots in between, show you the accomplishment. And I'm pretty sure I've got enough clear on here. I mean, I think I did 3 or 4 coats, 3 coats at least, and then the run on top. So long as you just take that off and then stop short like I've done here, and then block it down with sandpaper. So anyway, okay, just getting there. This is in the middle. I'm getting close. Actually only took me about 10 minutes to get to there, and then I'll clean it up a little bit more and start sanding. Here we are after just a couple minutes of sanding. I use a paint stick. It's nice and straight. So you just got a little bit more in here, but most of this stuff is out. Next shot should be clean. Hopefully I don't sand it. Here it is. That's the same spot. Smooth as it can be. Obviously I need to block a little bit here, a little bit of that I didn't do down here yet. That's not even really, you can't even tell it's a run, it's just a little limp. But all the runs are gone. This is some orange peel I hadn't sanded out, but it works fine. Down to, can't see a run across there at all. Just want to throw that in there. It's been a while since I've done any sanding on the videos. So back to work. All right, I've been slacking a little bit. Kind of got busy and just forget to film things, but there wasn't a lot to see. One thing I did do, finish the fenders. All the runs are out, they're ready to go. The hood is not ready to go. It's the only piece I got left to buff. But since it started cooling off, I wanted to do the plastic pieces, the front nose, and I totally missed filming that. They were already stripped. I sanded them down and I ended up putting like 3 coats of primer on. It was not this one. I kept this one just in case I have an issue. And of course I made me a handy dandy stand that I can set the rear bumper on, and then set this one that just sits on the boards there at an angle. And that way, that way I can paint the back side and everything all at once. But what I did do, I'll hit you real quick with it. I used high build primer. You had 10% flex, which is this, to the primer. I also ran out of this. It's empty, but I had the Omni primer, same thing. It's a high build primer, and I just added this into that. Again, 10%. I did a whole video comparing that to Sim in the spray cans, and doing it this way, so much better. And then I did one little strip of paint. I can show you that real quick. And so even, pull this off of here. Bear with me. And you're not going to flex that much at all. And it won't crack until you, man, you really have to, I got a split there. That's when I pulled it off. You really have to fold it in half to get it to crack. And just, I guess eventually that flex will dry out, but by then it's mounted. I just need to get this stuff done. And so this week, it's been like 70 something degrees. It was 89 2 weeks ago. So I felt I needed to get them done. But that's one thing I don't like about this stuff. It's always wavy, and you just got to try to make it fit. But the piece that goes in under that, the egg crate, that'll straighten out some of that waviness that you get right across here. And, ooh, that's good and toasty right now too. That's why it's cloudy. But if you'll set that stuff out in the sun, just the UV, it'll dry like a week's worth of sitting in the shade anywhere. But I went through, and this was all the way stripped down, and I put one coat. Well, I take that back. I used the adhesion promoter, Bulldog, put that stuff on, and then you literally, after the primer dries, you can feather it right back to the urethane, and feathers great. So the adhesion is wonderful with that. This rear bumper is really nice and straight. This one, when I just look at it, you see a little wave across here, but once it goes on the eggshell, it should be fine. And so I put a coat on, sanded it, and I was sanding with 120 grit just to level it out quick. Pretty much all the way back to the urethane everywhere. And it had little gouges in it, and that drove me nuts. So, again, the car, the metal, you can work that metal all day, but then to get the nose, that's one piece that everybody sees. So in those gouges, I sanded them back down, and I used this stuff. It's a flexible Bondo. Just uses the regular hardener. And this was probably a year old, and it was a fight to even get any out. It was not hardly creamy anymore at all. Had to hold it in my hands because I only literally needed a half a teaspoonful. So why go buy more when that's all I need? Anyway, filled that in a little bit. it sticks. The next, I would do it at the end of the day, and because I've done this all week. I've spent literally 5 days working on these things, because I would come out and to get in those little ridges around, it's take a piece of sandpaper, fold it up, and I would literally sit there for 4 hours, just back and forth, just trying to get that out. Then you find a little spot, fix it with a little filler. While you're working on the rest of it, come back. You know how it goes. But I like that detail, that when you've got one done, and there's, from sanding, it had little gouges and things around it. There's one right here. But I'm done. That's one thing I just can't keep making perfect. But I actually I coated it one more time. So the second coat of primer, sanded that down to 220. And I was breaking through in a lot of places. So I put one more coat on. And again, like, I'm getting nervous because I used all my primer, I used all this. I don't want to go buy another gallon because it's probably going to be a while before I do another one. Just like my paint. I got just enough paint, I think, to get those covered. If I don't, I'm screwed. I mean, I'll just have to go eat the bullet, because I went down to price it. I bought this whole gallon for, I think, right there, $660. I went back in just to get a pint, so I've got a little extra. This is probably enough, but you don't want to get stuck. $260. And I'm like, screw that. So what I'm going to do, I did on the other stuff. I've got a darker red, just slightly, that I had left over. My first coat will be this, and then 2 coats of that will cover. That's why I did the mirrors and all the other plastic. You can't see, I mean, basically it'll cover in 1 coat, but 2 coats is plenty. Then if I got it extra, I'll put it on there. So, sorry, I just got working. Actually, I think I ate a half a gummy, and that way your back don't hurt, and you just sit there and just work for 4 hours in your own little world. But I think I got them good enough, ready to go. I'm going to start working on the glass that goes in the door. Once I get these painted, we'll take a look at that again. I'll just do a follow-up. But, yeah, little things here and there. Just a quick catch-up. Still nothing new on the center caps. I've had a company reach out to me to do welting, but they're like, send them some samples. I probably will, and just let them do what they want, because I don't want to mess with it. It's probably the last one of these cars I'm going to do, but I would think any of these companies would try to get the right 79 stuff made. Maybe they'll see this and take off, because I'm not going to pursue it. I'll just send it to them and say, if y'all want it, somebody needs to do it. And then give them a couple samples I've got. So that's that. I'll load this up, and I think that's all I've got. I'll start on something else different.